Welcome here. We're doing the Cambridge non-calculator practice questions, and we're looking at the graphs algebra questions 25, which is on page 10. Yeah. Cambridge non-calculator practice questions extended, and it says page 10, although I think there's more than one page 10. Yeah, so we're in the algebra graphs questions, and we're doing question 25, page 10 of those. B. Okay, so we need to sketch this graph. First of all, let's just run through what graphs can look like, right? Remember, if you've got something in the form y equals mx plus c, it's always a straight line. If you just have an x in the equation, it will be a straight line. The moment you've got a square, you get the parabola. So if there's a square, x squared in the graph, yeah. And then if there's a cube, is when you get the zig and the zag, the two parabolas connected. And of course the other graphs is this reciprocal graph. Okay, remember if you put a minus in front, then it switches sides. Yeah. And then you get the exponential graphs, which goes like that. Okay, but we're now looking at this. So we know we're going to have a parabola, and a parabola has a turning point. So there's the answer. But you're not going to have Desmos to help you. So how to find the answer? Just have the question. There are many ways to do this. I'm going to show you two ways. First, I'm going to show you a bit of a longer way and then a shorter way. So remember now, when we do have the graph like this, it's got a gradient. On the left here, as we come down, it's got a negative gradient. And it goes down and down and down. And then if we were to draw a tangent there at the bottom, let me draw the tangent. Which will be y equals, what is that, minus 11. Okay, that's the tangent, which touches the turning point there. The gradient of this tangent will be 0, of course, because it's perfectly horizontal, before the gradient starts going positive and going up. Again, so whenever we do gradients on a graph, we need to differentiate. So if we differentiate this equation here, dy over dx, we multiply the 2 with the 1 in front. 2 times 1 is 2. Subtract 1 from that 2, so it's 2 to the power of x to the power of 1, or just x. And then 1 times 10 is 10. And then put a 1 there. 1 minus 1 is 0. X to the power of 0 is 1. So that's the differentiated equation. Y equals 2x plus 10. Now we can find the gradient of any point on that graph. Okay, but we want to know where the gradient is 0, because that is the turning point. So we set it equal to 0, and then we just need to solve this. Move the 10 across, gives us minus 10. Divide the 2, minus 5. So we know the turning point is going to be x minus 5. Now we just need to find the y coordinate. Okay, so we have the coordinate. The x1, minus 5. Where do we find the y? There's a y right there. So all we need to do, let's put this minus 5 into this equation, and we have the y coordinate. So it's minus 5 squared plus 10 times minus 5 plus 14. Minus 5 times minus 5, 2 minus makes a plus, it's 25 times 10 times minus 5 is minus 50. 25 minus 50 is minus 25, plus 14, minus 11. Excellent. So now we can draw the graph. They don't tell us to show the y-intercept, so that's not important. You can cross the y-axis anyway. Just draw the graph, and then you write here, that will be the point, minus 5, minus 11. That would be good enough. But there's an easier way to do this, especially if you've done question 25a, completing the square. Okay, remember, completing the square is, we write x, you half that 10, which gives us 5, put the square there, because you expand these brackets, you've got x squared plus 10x plus 25, so it means you need to subtract 25, and you have the answer, x plus 5 squared minus 11. Okay, that's written in that form. And now look at that, look at this, and look at the answer we got here down here. Can you see? There is the minus, oh, that's crazy. There's the minus 11. And there is the 5. We just need to change the sign, and this will always work. The turning point, you can always get it from the, after completing the square. Yeah, this will be your y coordinate, and this will be your x coordinate, but you need to change the sign. If that's a positive, you need to make it a negative. It's a negative, you need to make it a positive. That will always be the turning point. So you could have just read it off here and save yourself the time of doing all of that. Okay, let's have a quick glance at the mark scheme. No part of the graph in the fourth quadrant. So 1 mark for having the U shape, 1 mark for using the coordinates from your previous answer. So you got that wrong, but you used the coordinate point. 1 mark for the minus 5, 1 mark for the minus 11. And you've done it. Thank you.